Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live with some crazy updates. Myself and Khalifa are going to bring you right now the latest updates, what's happening in Israel, in Syria, in Lebanon, and surprise, surprise, in Germany. So without further ado, Khalifa, how are you?
Hey, good evening. How are you doing?
Hebrews and Shebrews, always doing good.
Great. I'm just checking that if I'm live in my Telegram channel. So everybody who see me or hears me on my Telegram channel, please note.
Fair
And
enough.
we're live. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I want to start with what is happening in Germany. As you guys looking right now on the right corner here, you can see the former current terrorists from Al Qaeda and ISIS meeting with the chancellor of Germany in Germany. And I know there was a lot of backlash that was happening. As you might see here,
In the heart
some
of
people
Europe,
made these
a shadow
videos very upset, justifiably, because they don't like seeing a terrorist going to Germany and being welcomed like the president of Syria. But there's a very, very important reason to what we're seeing right here, guys. And I've been hearing it for a very long time, and that is Germany is knowingly that Ahmed al-Shara is a terrorist and that Syria is a terrorist state, but they're willing to go to that level, extending a hand and even establishing some kind of communication for one very important reason, which you're going to see right now in the next video, translated by Khalifa into Hebrew and Arabic. And I also added translation here into English so you can understand what is happening.
Präsident Schara allerdings auch gebeten, jetzt vorrangig diejenigen zurückzunehmen, die in Deutschland keinen gültigen Aufenthaltstitel mehr haben. Hier haben wir eine kleine Gruppe, aber eine Gruppe, die uns Probleme bereitet, von straffällig gewordenen Syrern, die wir jetzt vordringlich zurückführen wollen. Aber in der längeren Perspektive der nächsten 3 Jahre, das ist der Wunsch von Präsident Schara gewesen, sollen rund 80% der in Deutschland jetzt sich aufhaltenden Syrerinnen und Syrer zurück in ihr Heimatland kehren.
So, Khalifa, what's your thought about this? It looks like Germany is willing to do some kind of a peace agreement with terrorists just in order to get rid of the Syrians that are in Germany. They're so desperate to get rid of them, to throw them away, that they're willing to go and reach a hand to an ISIS Al Qaeda terrorist. Just come here, let's talk, take them out, take this garbage. We don't want them here. I mean, that's what I'm understanding from what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, and the question is to be asked: are the Germans are going to go with it all the way? Because as Al Capone said, there is so much that you can get with nice words, but you can get much more with nice words and a gun. And the thing is, they're still treating them. They're giving. You have the carrot and the stick, and now they are trying to lure the the Syrian immigrants to Germany by offering them, money and job and lands and things like that. But I want to look at it in a very interesting way. The last time, because let's put it how it is. Basically, it is a population exchange. We are talking on hundreds of thousands of Arab Muslims in Syria that moved in the civil war, and now you can see how the ISIS mentality of Ahmad al-Shara or his diplomacy co-meets with the Germans because they both have the interest of bringing back those Syrians. So for Ahmad al-Shara, he's going to get a lot of money doing so. And for the Germans, they will say, okay, yeah, that's a clear interest for Germany to say the civil war has ended. Although in practice, the war on land is is going in full strength. I would say that the Syrian army is preparing, but the genocide or the minority um, being persecuted is still going on. We only yesterday had a lot of problem in Christian village Sikilberia, and we have the Damascus mayor declaring that no alcohol is allowed anymore. I didn't send you the videos, but a lot of Christians in Damascus trying to revolt against this decision. They declared you have those guys with the kafia, with with their face covered, and they declaring whiskey stand and Jaeger stand and Arak stand and wine stand, and they all pledge alliance to whiskey stand, saying that now we are declaring sovereignty, which is hilarious. That's their way to push back on that. So I would say that this puts everything in order. How Germany interest co-meets with the Syrian Ashara ISIS regime, basically.
Here, I tell you what, Khalifa, I agree and I don't agree with you on a crucial thing. And that thing is, yes, Germany wants to get rid of the Syrians. That is not a secret. I knew this for quite a long time. I even knew it from internal sources. That was one of the reasons that we're trying to hush hush talks about the massacre of the Druze and the Christian, because they didn't want the Europeans to see what a terrorist state is Syria is. They just wanted to get rid of the Syrians. And I don't blame them, because at least 1 out of 3 of the latest terrorist attacks and stabbing and sexual assaults that are happening in Germany almost are happening from the Syrian migrants, which are a small community that is very much aligned with Palestine and Gaza in the mentality wise and how they see the West and how religious and fanatics they are. We're seeing that in Syria right now when they're going around massacring, killing Christians and breaking their shops and etc. But with that I agree with you that Germany wants that. I don't believe that Ahmed al-Shara wants that. And I tell you why. First of all, big part of the money that is coming into Syria is coming from the agents that they've sent into Europe. Not only Syria, but a lot of the Muslim countries. A lot of the money that is going into these Muslim failing countries is coming by their families and relatives that are basically invading European countries right now, working there, taking their money, meanwhile, bringing children and trying to establish Sharia law. So it's a win-win in many aspects. And I don't really believe that Ahmed al-Shara gave up his ISIS al-Qaeda dreams for that. I believe he's trying again to manipulate the West and to trick the West and to trick Germany. I will be very surprised if he will follow up with that. Because also from his side, I mean, Germany is basically saying, hey, we have here a bunch of rapists and jihadists and terrorists. We want to send them back to you. And yeah, of course, bring them back. I mean, most likely, most countries said, no, keep that garbage. I got rid of it. And we
I
know that
agree
a lot
with
of
you.
times they've sent their garbage into Europe.
I agree with you. Like that's a clear, like this is his ticket. But I want to add something, because if we put it in a larger context, what's happening in the Gulf region. So I think people don't really recognize that yet, but we are living in a major shift. Last time that we have this kind of even proposal of population exchange was in World War II. So this is the event or the scale of the event that we are in. And I want to add a very interesting thing to the pool of meaning, that now that Iran involved Qatar, UAE, all those Gulf states to the war, basically, that ends somehow an era. Because let's put Qatar, for example. The policy of Qatar was, hey, let's put money to Iran, to Hamas, buy Paris Saint-Germain. Let's put money all over the place, and that's our, insurance ticket. But that didn't work. So now you don't have the Gulf money, because all those countries is gonna say, "Hey, we put all this money as an investment that didn't check when we needed it. So now we're gonna invest our money to our own security." This is why nobody's gonna rebuild Gaza, nobody's gonna rebuild Syria unless they are certain that it's going to work. So if we put it from the perspective of Ahmad al-Shara, he needs legitimacy. That's thing that he's getting. Second of all, talking is cheap. Nobody said that all those Syrians are gonna go back to Germany, so to Syria. Sorry. So he still have those, agents, as you call them, and like in his, the best scenario, we're gonna have 80%. Nobody, like, that's imaginary, benchmark. That's not gonna happen ever. So he's getting legitimacy. He needs people, to even people that lived in a sovereign country, people that could basically active as proper civilians, and he is getting money. So from his perspective, it's a win-win. And once the Qatari or the Gulf money is not so insured, that's a good move on his behalf.
I tell you what,
From
the
his
only
part.
thing here, the only thing here is I will not underestimate the Germans. And the Germans are still not finished. They're not like French or the UK. They're still not finished. I do believe that the Germans, I mean, I'm seeing it here. There's a lot of people in Germany that are just fed up with the Syrians, fed up with them. Seriously, I'll tell you a story, Khalifa. I was coming back one day. I was invited to this pro-Israel, pro-Nova kind of party event, and I wanted to go and show respect because they wanted to go and do like a dance party to remember the people in the Nova. We will dance again. And then on the way back, I said I'll stop and buy falafel. So I stopped in a place, apparently it was a Syrian place, and in the line in front of me there was 5 young Syrian shabab, all male, military-aged men, of course. And to the German eye, I am 99% confident that most Germans will see, like, oh, nice guys. But they don't understand Arabic. They don't understand the culture. They don't see the nuances that me and you will see immediately. And I saw this kind of jihadist mentality kind of in that group. So I stood there and I just let them order in front of me. I wanted to listen. And they were talking about how glad they are that Ahmed al-Shara is massacring the Christians, the Kurds, and the Druze, and how sad they are that they came to Europe before they managed to experience that bloodbath, because they would have loved to go inside these villages and plunder and kill and behead, and then show them, step on their neck and etc. And they were like using full-on terrorist language. Now, I am very positive that the average German will not probably see that. However, there is a waking up with many Germans right now. They're just fed up. You should see the police here, man. They are going and giving it to them. They are seeing what a bunch of lazy perverts they have brought from this country, who are not contributing at most to the society here, and at many cases who are literally making problems in their country. And Germans often, especially the ones that are not living in Berlin and some woke places, they like their lifestyle. They like their quiet, they like their organized lifestyle, they like their etiquette, they like their cultural respect that they have here towards time, towards elderly, towards traditions. They love their traditions. And these guys, they care nothing about traditions. They care nothing about respect. They care nothing about, all these etiquettes. And the Germans are seeing it. And sooner or later, I think they will be so fed up that they will just round them up and send them by force, like it or not. Or Germany will forever lose its German identity. So I think people here might actually starting to wake up and realize this is literally a battle of civilization. Now, speaking of which, here's a video that you shared with me, because right now, guys, we're having Christians being massacred and attacked in a village in Syria. And this is a video that Khalifa sent me today from his Telegram. And again, I added some English subtitles. So let's watch it, Khalifa, and maybe you can throw a few words about it.
لاجتياح كامل لمدينة مسيحية بين رواية السلطة الانتقالية وفيديوهات الناس. الحقيقة كانت عم تنضرب برصاص. شباب من قلعة المضيق تحرشوا ببنت بشارع المشوار بالمدينة، بيتصدى لهم مجموعة شباب من أهل القلبية. هون المفروض تتدخل الدولة، صح؟ لكن اللي صار كان العكس. بعد دقائق الأمن العام ما راح على الطرف المعتدي، راح.
Little bit of context. Correct me if I'm wrong, Khalifa. A few Muslim guys went and started harassing some few Christian girls. Some Christian men came and tried to defend their girls and push these Muslim guys so they don't go and harass or violate their girls. Then the Muslim went and called for all their shababs, and they came with guns, machine guns, trucks, and started breaking stuff. The Christians called for the police, and then the police came and joined again the Muslims in attacking the Christians there. Am I correct?
I don't think that the Christians even called the police because they knew, because those guys actually came in with the security forces. And the interesting thing that they always do it, they share their own videos vandalizing shops and people property, and those are the people in uniform that who suppose serve and protect. And this is the reality. Yes.
What a crazy. Okay, let's keep watching.
واعتقل شباب من الصقلبية، وبهذا الوقت بتتوافد قطعان الهمج كما تم تسميتها بالفيديوهات اللي انتشرت يلي ما حدا فيه ينكرها. مجموعات مسلحة، ملثمين، وجوه شفناها الفيديوهات اللي حاول إعلام السلطة يتجاهلها ويسخفها. ولهيك رفضوا أهالي الصقلبية اليوم يحكوا مع الإعلام الحكومي، لأنه الرواية الجاهزة ما عادت تقنع حدا. صار في اقتحام مو مرة بل مرتين، مرة والأمن العام عم يرافق المعتدين ويعتقل شباب من المدينة، ومرة تانية وهو عم بيقول إنه عم يفرض السيطرة. بس أي سيطرة والمحلات عم تتكسر، السيارات عم تنسرق والكافيهات عم تنهب. أي ضبط أمني وإطلاق الرصاص وصل لتمثال السيدة العذراء. وأي دولة لما تتحول الهتافات لتهديد والتكبير لسلاح ترهيب بين الناس. أتباع السلطة بيقولوا العمل مو طائفي، بس النتيجة كانت واضحة. مدينة كاملة عاشت تحت الرعب. الاحتفالات بالأعياد المقبلة التغت لأول مرة بسوريا من أكثر من 14 سنة، والناس نزلت على الكنائس بباب شرقي وبدمشق مو لتحتفل، لتسأل مين عم يحمينا. المشكلة مو بحادثة تحرش، المشكلة كيف حادثة صغيرة تحولت لاقتحام مدينة. والمشكلة الأكبر لما يلي معه سلاح بينترك ويلي دافع عن حاله بينسحب. وهون السؤال الحقيقي، هل الدولة عم تضبط السلاح ولا عم تختار بس مين تحاسب؟ وإذا بقي التعاطي بهي العقلية والسلاح مشرع بهالشكل، فالصقلبية ما رح تكون استثناء، رح تكون بروفا، والدور ممكن يكون جاي على أي مدينة تانية.
That's exactly what they're saying in Syria. That this is happening right now to us. It can happen tomorrow to anyone else among the minorities.
I have something like that. It's not fair to say, but I need to say it. I have a lot of complaints to the Christians, even Syrian Christians living abroad, because the writing was on the wall. And when the Alawites were massacred, when the Druze were massacred, and they've been persecuted, and the Kurds, we always, even here in our show, we always said, where are the Christians? Because the Christians is one of the main pillars that should push back against those Islamists, because they have connections and affinity to the Vatican, to the West, to all those powers that could give a counter fight against those Islamists. And zero, they put the Druze, a small minority, to be the tip of the spear against these powers. And it was a matter of time. It was all it was written all the way. And we always asked, where are you Christians? Why don't you speak? And we gave them, like, to be fair, we said, unlike the Alawites and the Kurds, the Christians are all over the place. So what? You still have voices. You should have said what you said, and you've seen it coming, and you did nothing. Sorry, Christians, it's on you. Like, I'm not trying to, throw you under the bus, but it is crucial that those minorities stand together against those powers, because you can't pass it by silence. Such behaviors, you should, like, it's bullying. You should stand up against the bullies, and they didn't do it. They have this dhimmi mentality, and we kept interviewing Christians and ask them, where are you? Where is your voice? We need to hear you. We, the Druze, we want to hear you, to stand together. And they didn't do it for a reason that I don't know why.
I tell you what, and we have someone here saying that this is his city, and I hope that you're fine. And if we're saying anything that you feel that is not accurate, please leave it in the comments. Or if you want to add something so people can know, please leave it in the comment. He's saying here 100% just we need weapons to defend ourselves so we don't scare. And I will say this, and I agree with you on this one, Khalifa. Not all Christians, first of all, in the Middle East are a bunch of wimps and wussies. Not all. But the ones who are willing to go and stand and fight are not getting backed up by their community leaders and by their, majority of them. And that is because Arab Middle Eastern Christians are not like American Christians. They have took the Bible into a very meek survivalist mentality of we're always going to be neutral. All wars are bad. We don't want to ever fight. We don't want to get involved, and we'll always be neutral. Now, you can't be neutral in the Middle East. You can't. Because you're either going to be eaten or you're going to have to fight not to be eaten, and sometimes even to eat the enemy so he doesn't eat you. I'll give an example. The Druze made a very clear decision when Israel was established. They didn't stay neutral. They picked a side. They picked basically the least logical side to pick. They picked the side of the Jews who were at their weakest. Right after the Holocaust, just came to this land with 2 billion or at least 1.5 billion Muslims who want to come and kill them. And they came and said, we're going to be with you guys. But they picked a side. And that's why the Druze today are strong and ready to defend themselves and even stand for one another. The Druze in Israel were the main reason that the Druze in Syria were not completely massacred and slaughtered. It is a shame that we're seeing Christians in Syria being killed and slaughtered and attacked, and churches destroyed. Statue of Mother Mary there was, shot and broken down by these shababs. Elderly people were humiliated in the streets. And Christians in America are more obsessed right now over Epstein file, and also over some liars like Joe Kent and Sean Ryan, who are trying to give them false information about what's happening, or Tucker Carlson about the Middle East. So they don't seem to be too concerned about what's happening to other Christians in Nigeria. Right today, I think, or yesterday, there was a video, a sad, devastating video of more executions of Christians by Muslims. So Islam never abandoned its war on Christianity. Christianity forgot that it's being attacked by Islam. And now they have so many compromised agents from inside of them that are telling them a falsified story of, no, we're not, we're this. Israel is a bad guy. Israel's a bad guy. Meanwhile, you know what? Here's a good example, guys, and we can come back to the Syria one later, Khalifa. But look at this. So IDF covered, I'll show you from the beginning. IDF uncovered Hezbollah terror infrastructures in a church, in a school in Khiyam. Did I say this the name right?
Yeah.
My mom is here. So my mom doesn't understand what I'm saying in English, but she will come and say, Mansur Khalifa, you're right 100%. Shukran.
We love you, Mansur.
Absolutely. By the way, we can appreciate some prayers. She was in the hospital today. She had some headache, and now she's been treated. So if anyone want to send some prayers toward my mom, We'll highly appreciate that. IDF uncovers Hezbollah terror infrastructures in a church and a school in Khadim, southern Lebanon. Now, guys, this is not new. This is proving that Hezbollah continue to exploit civilian sites and even taking holy sites for the Christians, and that the Lebanese, army is useless. They're not doing anything to stop it. They're not disarming them. Here, let me show you the video.
I want to add to that in Lebanon that we had a priest dying because basically Hezbollah framed them. They used the infrastructure, and that cost, dear blood of uninvolved people, like the priest. I forgot the name of the village, but it's all the same textbook. They use the Christian village, the Druze villages, and that's a shame. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for this reality, basically.
No, it is. It is that the Christians in the Middle East are living in a terrible reality unless they're in Israel. And Lebanon and Syria, it's not easy for them. Now look at this, guys. Watch the video of the IDF showing you how they uncovered.
באזור בית הספר במרכז אל-חיאם, נכנסנו לסריקה של בית הספר, ובתוך בית הספר נמצאו ממצאים של פעילות פח"עית. אנחנו רואים כטב"ם מהסוג שהם משגרים על הצפון.
That's drones.
מפורק ושבור.
Suicide drones.
יש כאן את החלק שיעף, את החלק שמתפוצץ, את החלק שמניח. יש כאן טיל נוצץ. יש כאן הרבה טילי כתף ואמל"ח מרגמה, רימונים, משגרים, נקל. פה אפשר לראות גם 28 מוקשים. אמצעי לחימה רבים, אפשר לראות פה שתי פצמ"רים 107, כמויות של פתיל רועם, לבנות חבלה. יש פה מנגנונים של מוקשים. אנחנו נמשיך לעבוד ולהשמיד אויב, להגן על תושבי הצפון.
So that was the key. He came in and said it very clearly. We will continue working, destroy our enemy, and protect the northern part of Israel. Israel have a commitment to its citizens. I will tell you this, I don't know if most, but many of the citizens living in the northern part of Israel are actually Christian Arabs, Druze, and Jews. So that is there's not a lot of Christian Arabs and Druze in the south, okay? So many of them live in the north, and right now they're being terrorized by Lebanon. And Israel says, we don't care, Lebanon. We're going to destroy everything that Hezbollah touches, and that includes some churches that they choose to hide in. Now, it's sad, and I wish that Hezbollah will not go and kill Christian priests and make their churches into bases of terrorist operation.
Well, I'm sorry. It's a shame that we didn't brought the map, because what's happening in south of Lebanon, you said the north of Israel. So now the south of Lebanon is going to be the new north of Israel, all the way to the Litani, because basically Israel said to the Lebanese government over and over again, they gave them one chance, the second chance, third chance. They kept, pursuing them. Do your job. Be a state. Be a sovereign country. Go and do what you signed that you are going to do. And it basically, cleaning Hezbollah's arms. And they said, yeah, we did it, and we cleaned all the south, and now we can see and witness that they didn't. They talk cheap. They never do anything. So basically, Israel, what it did, it decapitated all the bridges, because you have the Litani River that basically separates the south from the north, and Israel basically blew up all the bridges, and now this river is a very steep a valley, like 200 meters down, 200 meters up. That's like a natural border for Israel. And now what Israel did, she said all villages need to be evacuated from the southern part of Lebanon to the north, and the only villages that stayed are Christian and Jews, that nobody touches them. The Jews know IDF is not gonna touch them, because we're not seeking anything against people that that basically don't want to harm us. And now Israel from the Hermon Peak is going to go basically to the west and close all over that. Like Israel is advancing, and now the Bika area is today. Avichai Aderi, the speaker in Arabic of the IDF, told the Bika area, some villages in the Bika area, to be evacuated, and this is happening. The south of Lebanon is basically being cleared out from the Shia community because the Lebanese state never did what it signed and said that it's going to do.
No, I 100% agree. And if you look at the map here also, look at the size of land that Israel is going to take from Lebanon. And that is, I feel, the punishment of a government that have allowed terrorism to lead it, that have allowed Hezbollah. I mean, yes, they're all right now asking for sorry, but that's what we said in the beginning many times. When you start speaking power and respect, that's when they start understanding, and it's a bit too late. Israel cannot trust. There's not a functioning government in Lebanon that can be trusted, and Israel, I completely understand, have a responsibility towards its citizens and towards its women and children that are being killed by these savages. And they're saying, Khalas, Israel today is not the same Israel before October 7. And I think the Middle East is starting to understand we're not playing games anymore. And if needed, we will make Lebanon and Syria into Gaza, if needed. And I will not shed a tear if that will happen. If they will wake up and they will abandon their suicidal, genocidal dreams of destroying Israel, killing me and my family and my friends, Jews and Christians and Arabs and Muslims in Israel, if they abandon that, then I don't want any harm for them. But if they keep saying, Takbir, Takbir, Allahu Akbar, we want to come and kill you more, I am all for making a parking lot from all of them and allowing Christians and Druze and other minorities to come and repopulate this land and kick away the Muslims, send them away. They're just trouble everywhere they go, and that's what they're doing.
This is what happening, and they are such liars because the Americans kept telling them, and everything that happened on their responsibility, and they never take any responsibility. It drives me mad,
Yeah, they're treated like they're just, dumb teenagers and adolescents. Oh, you can't really come. What do you mean you can't? Expect the highest. No pedophilia, guys. Stop marrying young girls. No massacring and killing women in the streets and violating them. No attacking others who have different religion. If you can't hold yourself, we'll put you in the ground or in a mental hospital. I mean, look at China. They literally declared Islam as a mental problem, and they're treating it that way. I'm not saying that we should do that in all the West, but there's probably a reason why they're doing that. Now, I want to continue with the video here because it's a very interesting video, guys. Watch this. A church. This is a church in Lebanon. Hezbollah took it and made it into a terrorist operation base. So what do you think is going to happen? IDF is obviously sooner or later going to blow that church away.
התוואי הראשי של תת הקרקע, שעברו את הקירות בצורה מתאימה, שיהיה להם פתחי חרכי ירי אל מול התקדמות כוחותינו. יש לנו פה עלייה למדרגות לבחוץ, לאחר מכן זיהינו שיש פה כניסה פתח, בואו תסתכל בפנים, רואים את הסולם שנכנס פנימה. הסולם זה בדיוק לנקודה שיש את השקי פרקה למעלה, שזה מחובר לכל המערכת.
Meanwhile, in Israel, Christians are treated with the utmost of respect.
I need to add to that small thing. The problem is with Lebanon, with all those places that they keep handling this crisis in yesterday's means. And the thing is, the world changed. Israel changed after October 7th, and Israel is not going to suffer any bullshit anymore. Zero tolerance for bullshit. Today, the Israeli parliament agreed on death penalty to terrorists. Today, Israel bombed ambulances because they were belonged to Hezbollah, because this is what Hezbollah tactics do. They take civil infrastructure like the church, like the ambulances, and they say try to camouflage their terrorist activity under these civilian property, and the world has changed. Israel has changed, and it's not gonna tolerate that. And they are losing the south of Lebanon. We're not doing it happily, but Israel is gonna do anything in its means to secure its citizens. It's not gonna sit on the borders and try and wait for the next October 7. And they are now eating the dish that they cooked.
Yeah, I think if you want peace in the Middle East, you want to unleash Israel on all these jihadists. Israel is the best in the world in killing them and putting them in place and destroying them. And if you unleash Israel on them, you will make the Middle East just a better place, undoubtedly. Now, I want to hear your thoughts about this. Have you heard about this commission that is happening right now around the world, where they're saying that Israel did not allow some Christian priests to go to the Holy Sepulchre? I don't know how to say that name, but to like the holiest church where they believe Jesus was buried, right next to Golgotha in Jerusalem. Did you hear that story?
Yeah. And they came to settlement, and now they're gonna have I don't know how they call the gathering, but they settled it using the President Bougie Herzog, Yitzhak Herzog, and the Israeli police, and they came to some sort of an arrangement, and everything's gonna take place.
True, and I think to bring some light into what happened there, I have a dear friend of mine, Kalev Myers, who is a Jew living in Israel, American, who is a lawyer, who have a law firm, one of the big ones, specialized in freedom of religion and minorities in the Middle East. But hear what he have to say, explaining what happened, because I know a lot of people will be lying to you when they will tell you that Israel is not allowing Christians to go and pray. Here's the reason.
So is the Israeli government preventing Christians from visiting holy sites on Palm Sunday? Well, not really. The truth of the matter is that when we take out missiles flying in from Iran, massive pieces of shrapnel fall from the sky. Some pieces of shrapnel like this actually fell right at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre on March 15th and 16th. And so according to the rules of Homeland Security, you can only have up to 50 people on a certain property just as long as they have a proper bomb shelter or security room to go to. Unfortunately, at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, they don't have a proper bomb shelter security room. So the only people allowed to be on that property right now, in order to save lives, are the 30 priests who live there, unless somebody has special permission from the government to enter the premises. Now, the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, Father Pizzabella, knew that he was supposed to get special permission from the Israeli government to enter the Church of Holy Sepulchre today on Palm Sunday, but instead of getting that permission, he just went there with a few other priests and tried to enter the property. The policeman that was guarding the property prevented him from entering because he was keeping the rules of Homeland Security that are meant to protect people's lives. Should that police officer have used more discretion, understanding that this is the chief patriarch of the Latin Church, and regardless of the rules of Homeland Security, let him into the property? Probably. But in many cases, these kind of low-ranking police officers just keep the rules, and that's what happened today. Furthermore, the president of Israel took responsibility and said that it was unfortunate that they should have let him enter the property, and I'm sure that's what Israel will do next time. So Israel doesn't have a policy of preventing Christians from accessing holy sites. This is just an unfortunate situation that has occurred because of the rules created during the war to protect citizens and residents living in this land from missiles and shrapnel falling out of the sky. I think that's clear.
Exactly. By the way, this guy is a personal friend. I know him from Israel. He knows what he's talking about. I can tell you what, in my village, in Khalifa's village, there's Christian churches who are living peacefully there. In my village in Mughar as well, there's Christians. In Jerusalem, I've been there many times. There's a lot of Christians and they walk freely. There is just rules to prevent you from killing yourself that are based on safety reasons. I personally knew a few guys from the special forces who were bomb squad technicians. And during the Iraq war, they had to go and to take care of the engine of a rocket that fell down. And that engine, just the engine, we're not talking right now about the rocket itself, had chemicals and fumes and gases coming out of it that it was so toxic that it actually melted their suits. So they had to run back and change suits, wash, change, and go back again because it was so toxic. So it is a real danger, these Iranian missiles that they're shooting at Israel. And when one lands next to a church, it is, the Christians will have to understand that there is the democracy, and it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Bedouin, doesn't matter what, Druze, you're going to have to adhere to the laws and the rules here to protect you. But I know that actually that priest ended up understanding and made a comment about it. Later on, he made a very clear comment that he understands what Israel did and he doesn't want to fuss the done here. It's all peaceful, but haters will hate and they're trying to find a reason to hate. And in this case, they're just gonna, make excuses and try to paint Israel as if Israel here, that's the priest meeting with the police and they're all shaking hands and smiling and saying, thank you for protecting us. And yes, that police officer could have understand a little bit better the picture, maybe explain it better. I don't know what, but bottom line, no foul play was done here. And it's exactly how it should be done.
And, even to add to that, a very important thing that we had the Ramadan, the site on the Rock of Dome was closed. The Al Aqsa Mosque was closed all the Ramadan. Even, in how do you say, the Kotel, the Jewish people, nobody was allowed. Yeah, no one was allowed to do any gathering because missiles were like falling in these places. People were dying, even in Ben Gurion Airport, all those places. Nobody is above the law, because from the Israeli perspective, if God forbid a rocket falls and the archbishop is gonna die, the mayhem that's gonna happen, or the casualties are too big to endure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By the way, it's funny. I'm apparently I'm not allowed to comment on my own video on Instagram, so I guess I got blocked again.
I think because there's some weapons probably that you put on the IDF or things like that, because Instagram are really tense with the algorithms. You need to be very careful on that.
They're tense about the wrong thing. I think they're amplifying the anti-Semites and they're shutting the ones who are trying to expose them. They might have good intentions, but it's not very well delivered. But anyway, guys, this is what's happening. A few short things of what's going on in the Middle East. We started this video. I want to show you again. It is interesting news. Germany is planning on sending 80% of the Syrian migrants. Oh, I have something important to say about that. And to send them back into Syria. One thing, and I pray that the Germans understood. Syrians have done mostly harm to Germany, not a great, migrations. Everybody knows that. It's clear. 1 out of 3 of sexual assaults and terrorist acts are happening by Syrians. It's crazy. The numbers are crazy. However, if you send back to Syria Syrian non-Muslims, you just sentence them to death. What you need to do is you need to bluntly, clearly do it that way. Come, are you Syrian? Yes. Are you Muslim? Come here on the bus, go back. We don't want you here. As clear. Unless he can prove that he have adopted Western ideologies and have abandoned genocidal jihadist ideologies. If he can prove that, then he will also be killed if he will go. Because remember, Syria is Al-Qaeda, ISIS land. I'm not saying this out of hatred. I'm not saying this out of demonizing a culture. I'm saying this out of pure safety reasons. If you want to send Syrian to Syria, you need to send the Muslims, which are majority of them are jihadists, who will go back to Syria. Anyone in Germany that is holding a Syrian flag or a Palestinian flag or saying that he's sent by Ahmed al-Shara is without no doubt an ISIS Al-Qaeda supporter. 100%. You can't be. You can't be. Why? Because the government is run by ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and they're going and doing ISIS and Al-Qaeda work on the ground. Like we saw today, they're going massacring Christians, Druze, Alawites, Yazidis, Kurds, and anyone that comes in their way. They would love to go and massacre Jews as well, but the Jews are strong enough for them, and they don't dare to come. And every time they come, they end up dying in the desert in the most pathetic, horrific way. So, if you are Germany now, make sure, don't send away Druze to Syria. You've sent them to death. Don't send Christians to Syria. You've sent them to death. They will be kidnapped in the airport. Don't send Yazidis to Syria. Send them to death. Don't send Kurds to Syria. You're sending them to death. Send Muslim Syrians. And the ones that you will not send, the ones that will prove to you that they don't hate Israel, that they don't hate the Druze, and that they actually hate the Syrian government, because that will show you that that person have changed his way, and often he will even stop being a Muslim, because it does contradict a little bit with their faith internal struggles. That is my advice, and I stand strongly behind it. Strongly. I really hope you don't do that mistake, because you will end up having a lot of the blood of the innocents on your hand. And again, you will be doing the wrong thing by trying to do something nice. You'll be doing more damage. Please stop with that nonsense, Europe. It's not cute anymore. Stop doing damage when you can actually do good. Here, Phoenix, agree with me. I'm good. We're ready to wrap the show. Phoenix said 100%. Khalas, 100%. Here, you see, all these guys that are agreeing with me are Arabs in the Middle East, Christians, Druze, Kurds. They know what I'm talking. They know what I said right now is true. Khalifa, do you agree with what I said?
Yes, I agree with you. I think there's something wrong with my Telegram channel for some, I can't find it for some reason, so I'm a bit in a shock now. I need to
Can't
see
find your
what's
Telegram?
Yeah, I can't find my Telegram channel. Something happened.
Did you look under the chair?
No, I'm scared that somehow I erased it or something. I need to check what's happening.
That was a taxi driver joke.
Yes, something really weird just happened. Sorry.
Cyber attack. The Iranians are attacking you, cyber. So here, guys, let's watch it, and we're gonna finish with that. We're gonna start with this video. We're gonna finish with it.
Das ist genau das Thema, über das wir gesprochen haben. Ich habe Präsident Shara allerdings auch gebeten, jetzt vorrangig diejenigen zurückzunehmen, die in Deutschland keinen gültigen Aufenthaltstitel mehr haben. Hier haben wir eine kleine Gruppe, aber eine Gruppe, die uns Probleme bereitet, von straffällig gewordenen Syrern, die wir jetzt vordringlich zurückführen wollen. Aber in der längeren Perspektive der nächsten 3 Jahre, das ist der Wunsch von Präsident Shara gewesen, sollen rund 80% der in Deutschland jetzt sich aufhaltenden Syrerinnen und Syrer zurück in ihr Heimatland kehren.
So guys, that's big news. 80%, but again, it's 80% from the ones who didn't get valid residency permits. So yeah, it means that Germany is screwed. If they don't send them all back, or at least 95% of them back, they're in big trouble. Big trouble. They bring more children than you. They don't assimilate. They don't share your values. They actually hate your values. And yeah, if the West doesn't understand that it has been invaded by Islam, then there's no hope for them. No hope. But let's see. Let's see.
Thing is, again, I think that if we can put a title to what's going on, population exchange, that's not a dirty word anymore, transfer, and that puts hope to south of Syria, to Sweden, to come to a deal where, because one more interesting thing that happened today, because people asked Jolani, what about the Golan Heights? Is it Syrian? Is it? Are you gonna? Are you gonna take claim back? And he said that it is a Syrian land, and they're gonna take control of this Syrian land.
I would like to see them try.
Yeah, in Germany today, where which is very, very interesting thing to say. And I hope that in Jerusalem they hear that.
Oh yeah, no, that we know already in Israel. Israel knows very well that Jolani is ISIS and Al Qaeda, and nothing changed. Someone here said, and I don't agree with you, with all due respect, Owen Jones CV1FZ. El Jolani only wants the Syrian who've learned to trade in Germany. We can keep the criminals according to him. Let me tell you something. I actually think that it's the opposite, and I'll tell you why. The criminals that they have, which a lot of them in Europe right now, are ISIS and Al Qaeda fighters. He can use them in Syria. He have a lot of them, and he can use a few more to go and attack the Christians, the Druze, the Alawites, and do their bidding. They've been doing that. They can use that. The ones who've learned trade are the ones that are more likely to takia their way into your society, and also to send money back into Syria. So he would rather that these ones, the smart and intelligent ones, stay in Europe because they serve as a cash bank to take money from Europe and send it to their failing country so we can use it for terrorism and to make the rich even richer and the poor even poorer. That's number one. Number two, they're more likely to convince an average European that doesn't really know Islam or the Middle East, and oh wow, look at that guy's nice. All of Islam must be nice. He said that Israel is bad. All of Israel must be bad. Why? Because Ahmed, the guy that works with me, is a nice guy. I've met him. He have nice kids. And he said that Israel are the bad guys and Syria are the good guys, and the Muslims are the oppressed in the Middle East, and the Jews the Druze and the Jews are oppressing the Muslims. 2 billion of them are being oppressed by 7 million and by 150,000. So then Johannes is going to say, oh, I know everything I know about the Middle East. Why? Because Ahmed told me. He's a nice guy. And that ends up serving as a takia and a catharsis to help them keep promoting and bringing children. Now, the moment that Ahmed, 5 children, will enter the kindergarten, will enter the school, will graduate university age, 5 of his kids against one of your Johannes or Brunhilde or Farfet Kulda, and then they will vote the next election, you will see all of a sudden in one go, bam, Germany have changed. Another generation, Ahmed and Mahmoud, because that's probably what he's going to name his kids, are not going to see differently their views about Christianity, Judaism, Israel, and the West. They will keep their Islamic jihadist ideology, while Hans and Brunhilde will basically debate if it's okay, vegan or tofu, to shave their armpit or not, and if they should have purple hair, or if they should hate right now America or hate Israel because they're colonizing. They will be like so detached. And then there'll come a point where it'll be too late. There'll be too many of them, and then Ahmed will stop being a nice guy, and his children will stop being so nice, and they will demand that you succumb to Sharia law or die. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, what happened in Iran. Look at it. Exactly what happened there. 45 years. Look what's happening now. They can't break free. They can't break free. Women cannot show their hair. Little girls cannot have freedom. And anyone that dare to speak against the government get shot in the street or in the hospital in the head.
It's not only that. If you go to the textbook of Al Qaeda, for example, there's a doctrine, say it called death by 1,000 cuts. So basically, every Muslim living in a kafir state or non-Muslim state brings this cognitive dissonance, because they say, I should be a proper Muslim, but being here in Germany, that doesn't make me a proper Muslim. That which means that any Muslim, I call it GHD positive, like HIV positive. It's a jihad positive, because you have
You
this
are
gene.
jihad positive.
You have jihadi gene, because as you said, this Muhammad or Ahmed or whatever, he could open a book, and every teenager will have his identity crisis. Am I German? Am I Turkish? Am I Moroccan? Whatever. What am I? Then you seek out for some place to feel belonging, and you will go to the mosque, and this is the place that they actually recruit jihadists. And people will say, "Yeah, it is okay that you are here, but you need to serve Allah by doing jihad." And bit by bit, they're gonna take this guy and try and make him more and more extreme. So in potential, everybody is GHD positive, and that is what's so dangerous about it. Because if you think on 9/11, you'll see those people who flew the planes to those buildings learned how to fly planes in the US.
Yeah.
They use the infrastructure of the West against the West. That's in Arabic, they call it inghimasi. Inghimasi, someone who goes behind enemy lines, and they say it is a noble thing that you are living here, and this you need to use your powers against the West.
So exactly, you know what? That's exactly it. It's their form of missionary work. Thank you so much, Phoenix. As someone born and raised in the Middle East, trust me, when Mansour speaks about the region, he knows exactly what he's talking about. There's a difference between reading about reality and living it. Someone else said, "Hey, I would have been worried that Trump would make a deal with the elements of the RGC before the job was done. Believing the change of these people is unwise." Thank you so much, Camelo. That's very kind of you. Now, another thing here that was very, very interesting to my eyes is Owens, who said, so the Germans got it backwards again. I didn't mean to disrespect Owens. I just said that I understood what you wrote, but it's exactly it. Germans and Europeans are seeing it backwards again and again. And because they are such an efficient and honest culture, they appreciate honesty. I know people in Germany that can't even understand, why would someone lie? That, like, literally, I have neighbors like that, Khalifa. It's cute. It's refreshing. It's like, go to the Middle East and you'll find out they're lying on steroids there. But it is many times very hard for them to understand that mentality, that people will come and exploit their kindness in such a direct way and will take advantage of their genuine caring for other humans. And many Europeans just can't really handle that, and that's why they have us here to help them understand. Now, Khalifa, you're talking about the jihad positive, and another way to explain it that I find very helpful, especially for people who don't understand the culture. In Christianity, you have that term, "come to Jesus." Did you ever hear that term?
Yes.
So when you think, okay, I want to do a quiz about you, give me the answer. When you hear someone saying he just had a come to Jesus moment, what does that mean to you? What do you think is going to happen to that person?
This guy is gonna be more conservative. He's gonna take care of his community. He's gonna go and show the good faith and faith of Christianity, and teach what is the good teachings of Christians, he's gonna become a nice guy, basically.
Here you go, guys. I've asked a Druze Middle Eastern shepherd, basically, what does it mean, come to Jesus? And that's a question that came. That's what most people will bring from their hip. That's what they feel. When a Christian says, I had a come to Jesus moment, he's gonna stop drinking, stop adultery, stop cheating, become a better husband, a better father, a better employee, a better worker. Even if he hit rock bottom and he's super poor right now and devastated, that come to Jesus will usually mean that he will just rebuild his life and have a better life. In Islam, Khalifa, what happened when someone have a come to Muhammad moment?
Run to the mountains.
Is your name Shris?
No, it's Chris.
What, you added this?
I added that. It is the joke that because we are talking about Christianity and all those things.
We'll show it. We'll show it.
Let's have a good laugh.
Yeah, but 1 second. So when someone have come to Muhammad, it usually means that he will take the Quran literally and he will go either, suicide bombing, stabbing rampage, grab his truck, drive into the crowds and kill, because he is fulfilling the calling that his book have called him to do, to go and colonize the world and kill the infidels. So you can see a very difference between come to Jesus and come to Muhammad in terms of the practice. Man, the harsh talk that reflects real life. Come to Jesus means he had a harsh talk. Yeah, and reflects real life. And usually it means that he changed his way. He corrected his way and he started doing things better. Now let's watch this video you want to show us, Khalifa.
Is your name Shris?
No sound?
It's Chris.
C-H-R-I-S.
Why is there no sound?
There's sound.
C-H-R-I-S. Chris.
C-H is ish. علمونا إياها بالمدرسة إيش.
No, C-H is K.
Do you say chocolate or cocklet?
I say chocolate.
Chicago or Chicago?
Chicago.
سد بوزك لكن أفهمتك. C-H is ish.
Do you say Christmas or Shrismas?
I don't know. I'm Muslim. She is a Christian.
It's actually funny because I have a very good friend of mine called Chris in the US. He's the guy that actually owns the cigar company. And I have another friend of mine who is an Arab Israeli Christian named Amir from Beersheba. And we always laugh at Chris because we call him Shris. And we say, your name is Shris, Habibi. Shris. I don't know what you're talking. It's written Shris. It's Shris. And it drives him nuts. But yeah,
it's funny. I didn't hear it, but I watched the video so many times because I need to, I'm working on it to show it to my followers. So it is a funny one.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was an update that we brought you here by myself and Khalifa. We'll keep you updated here. We'll try to bring you the best news if it's in a live form or if it's in a regular video. Also, go and check Khalifa's Telegram channel. If you haven't found it, that's how it looks like. He have usually that colorful picture of him doing different faces. But that's him on Telegram. Very big, very informative, have a lot of information. In general, usually you will get most of the relevant information nowadays through Telegram before you'll see it in the news. And often you'll hear podcasters like us talking about it before the mainstream media talks about it, because they need to run it through their propaganda, filtering, narrative approval system, and then choose, are we going to talk about it? Yes or no? Is it pro-Israel? Is it pro-America? Or is it pro-jihad or communism? Yes or no? And then they'll see, okay, can we still use it to promote our agenda? And that's how mainstream media works. They rarely ever actually tell you the truth as it is. So if you want to go, you can go and check his Telegram, and as well, come and keep following us in our channels, where we try to do the best work that we can to help you. Thank you so much, Phoenix. You're the man. Support my advocacy. If you want to stay tuned and also help this channel keep growing, go and check my Patreon as well. And also do the like, share, subscribe, and the share here. And on the Patreon, you can find practical, direct ways to support and help us keep doing the job that we're doing. Also with Khalifa, you go in his channel and you can find direct practical ways to help him as well there, from Buy Me Coffee to Patreon, all the way to his Telegram channel. With that said, we're going to finish with the old shebang and tell you, don't do anything stupid. In general, don't do anything that I would do. And Khalifa, any final words from you, mister?
Someone asked about Tommy Robinson. We would love to have him. And Raymond Ibrahim as well. Someone mentioned him. All those guys. We need to, co-work and help. So if you have any say, please send your emails, send your messages. In our behalf, invite any people that you think is relevant for our discussions, because we need to co-work on this matter, because there's a lot of awakening that we should do. And that's it, basically. Gute Nacht, everybody.
Gute Nacht, everyone. See you next time.